I'm Dr. Karin Drummond with Drummond Chiropractic. I've been a chiropractor here in Bloomington for 17 years. We opened up in 2000, and I was voted #1 chiropractor by the Herald Times Reader's Choice 6 times. So a chiropractor is a primary care physician. We have the same education as a medical doctor with some differences. And the biggest difference is instead of learning about pharmaca, we don't treat with medicine, so that saves us like hundreds of hours where we can focus on the physical body, on anatomy, on natural means of helping you obtain wellness, nutrition, herbs. We study a lot more on the physical body, on physical therapy. So, I mean, you can learn to become a chiropractor in 6 months if all you have to worry about is how to adjust somebody. The 4 years is required so you know when not to adjust somebody, when to refer them out to a specialist. We are primary care physicians, so I'd like for people to start thinking in terms of if I have an ailment, no matter what it is, see a chiropractor first, because if we can get you better without medicine and surgery, bonus. And if we can't, then we'll happily refer you out to people who go to that extreme, because that's when medicine shines when you have a disease or your body's so broken that it needs to be surgically corrected. So we purchased this building in 2000. It was a residential home and we had to get it rezoned for commercial use, and we did a planned unit development. This house is actually over 100 years old and it's been perfect for me. I feel like I'm the little lady in the woods. My husband does all my billing, so that's great. I don't have to deal with any of that. I have my front staff, Sam, who's a total sweetheart and is really good about getting people in. And Dr. K came on board to help me out for my overflow, and she has a practice out in Ellettsville. And then it's me. It's nice. It's a family-run, small little business. I'm what's called a diversified chiropractor, meaning I have the means of adjusting you either very subtly or like some people, literally my feet leave the ground to get them to move. So it just depends on your specific needs. I'm not going to treat a truck driver like I treat a little old lady. Some chiropractors are all about realigning bones, because magic happens when you adjust the spine. The body has a means to heal the body. So when you get the restrictions freed up, then the blood can flow, the lymph can drain, the nerve pathways from the mind to body, that's what facilitates healing. But personally, I take it to a whole nother level. I want to teach you how to feed your body the nutrients it needs. Because if you have a great plan to build a home and all you have is straw, you're not going to build the mansion of your dreams. And I believe that there's a triad of wellness. Not only do you have to move well, which I can do for you as a chiropractor, and I teach you how to keep your body moving well, but you have to eat well, which is a loaded topic. What does that exactly mean? And then you also have to sleep well, because if you're tired, it's hard to think well. So that's kind of my triad of wellness. If you could put that in a pill, it'd be worth $1 billion. My services obviously include chiropractic manipulation, but I also do physical therapy and massage. I offer nutritional counseling. If you have foot pain, then I also do scans for orthotics. And what's interesting is a lot of times you'll come in with back pain and I find out it's not because of your back, but because your legs are uneven or your feet are dropping more on one side than the other, which puts your body into a twist, so that I can adjust you all the time and you're not getting better. You got to find the root cause of your pain. I really pride myself in getting you to a point where you don't need me anymore. I really do try to work myself out of business, because the more people refer, it works out really well. Another thing I have here, which is a little unique for this area, is a flotation pod. I come from the West Coast, and the biggest flotation center is in Portland, Oregon. And it's basically 100 gallons of water with 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt. So it's kind of like floating in the Dead Sea, but a lot cleaner and safer. And the whole idea is when you're floating, your brain doesn't have to work so hard to keep yourself upright. Your brain isn't being bombarded by unnatural light or sounds or stressors, so you can really let go. There are 4 main brain waves. Like right now we're in beta because we're conversing, and hopefully you're paying attention. Alpha would be your daydreaming, and delta is your sleep. And in between delta and daydreaming is that elusive theta state. And we should naturally be experiencing this as we start to fall asleep and when we start to wake up. But usually we're so busy that we go, 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 and then we're watching TV and upsetting news, and then we get so tired we crash, so we miss the theta. And in the morning we get awoken rudely by our alarm clock. That's why the alarm clocks are now getting more popular, where it gradually wakes you up, because that way you can hopefully get some theta brainwave state. So I believe most of us are theta brainwave deficient, and that really has a negative impact, not just on our brain, but on our overall health. So that's why I have a float pod. Well, definitely if you have back problems, you want to see a chiropractor, or neck pain. But what's really amazing is if you have GERD, or if you have abdominal upset, or if you have headaches, or if you have just any kind of complaint, generally speaking, getting your body in alignment is going to do nothing but make you be the best person you can be physically, and then other ailments should go away. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had people come in for back pain, and then all of a sudden their bowels are more normal. I've had women who had difficulty conceiving, they come in for back pain, and within a month or two they're pregnant. Again, that could be coincidence, but I see this time and time again. Neck pain, low back pain, that's my bread and butter. People think chiropractic when they have a back pain, or they think chiropractic when they have neck pain. And again, they don't necessarily think chiropractic for headaches or foot pain. And I even have patients that I fix their neck pain, and then they develop foot pain and went through the rigmarole of trying to figure out what to do, and then they come in for the neck pain. And I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me about your foot? I totally fixed that. So yeah, neck and back, that's my most common. My favorite one to work on actually is headaches, because I'll have people that have had headaches daily since they were little, like 8, 9 years old, and have suffered for decades, and then 1 or 2 treatments with me and changing up their lifestyle, and they don't have headaches anymore. And that's a feel-good moment for them, obviously, but also for me. So another one I really like to work on is irritable bowel syndrome, because to me that's a garbage can diagnosis. They're saying that their bowels are irritable, like they didn't know that. So, and it's a little trickier, but if you could figure out the dietary changes they need to make and the lifestyle changes they need to make, then life is a lot better when your bowels are happier. Another one I love working on feet, because that's the foundation on which you stand. And if they're off, I believe a lot of chronic pain sufferers, it's actually feet imbalances. And when you help someone who's had pain their whole life and didn't even realize it was coming from their feet, you get some orthotics under those feet and they feel so much better, that's a good day. If you want to limit your risk of having neck and back pain, I've mentioned the triad of wellness. You have to eat well, you have to move well, and you have to think well. So when you're at work, if you have a desk job, or if you're or if you're driving for a living, that's a lot of sitting. The spine was not designed for sitting. It's barely designed for standing. So you need to move. Joints need movement to be fed. There's a wonderful blood supply to the joint capsules, but for the nutrients to get inside, that joint has to stir to get that fluid moving. There's no little hearts in every one of your joints. So if you just sit there, gravity is just going to squish all that good stuff out, and it's going to fester and get degenerative over time. And literally, it only takes about 20 minutes for that to become symptomatic. When you're younger, your joints are more hydrated, so you can get away with it more, but it's going to catch up with you. And it doesn't take much. Just a shoulder roll or a spinal twist. And that's why I'm writing my book, so I can reach more than just my patients in these walls. I mean, if you want secrets on how to avoid getting arthritis over time if you have a desk job, I have a book, Combat the Effects of Sitting. And slouching is terrible, because that puts terrible pressures on your neck and your low back. And having weak back muscles and weak core muscles, so you can't support yourself when you're sitting, that's going to affect you over time too. And then if you're putting chemicals into your body, like food preservatives, color dyes, that can increase toxins into your bloodstream, and that's just not healthy. I've written a lot of books. It all started in 2014. I was in a car accident. Somebody just pulled out in front of me and I rammed on the brakes, which is like you try to stop obviously, but because I was tensing, that makes for a more shear force in the joints, and so I had a terrible case of whiplash. And I thought, no big deal, I'm a chiropractor, my husband's a chiropractor, I got this. No, it didn't take me 2 months to get better. It took me 2 years. And I thought if an expert like me was struggling to get well, how is a layperson going to get well? And I was documenting my journey to wellness anyway, in case I went to litigation, and I was looking at my journal, and I thought, I can do this. This is like a book already. So I wrote my first book, which was on sitting, and then it won, or I was a finalist in the Best Book Awards for 2016 in the health and diet and exercise category. So that wasn't too bad for my first book, and that really spurred me to release more books. I have one on slouching, I have one on headaches, irritable bowel, remember those were my favorite. I have one on jaw pain that I just published, and my next one is going to be on neck pain, and I'm working on editing the low back pain book, and then the one I'm currently working on is on foot pain. So if I could get people out in California and Florida and across the globe getting these pearls of wisdom in the sea of misinformation, that'll make for an even better day. Chiropractic is very safe. It's amazing to me that people will pop at a Tylenol or ibuprofen or some over-the-counter like it's candy, and that is really not safe. It's hard on your kidneys and your livers, and there's a long-term health effect on taking these beyond a day or two. There's a reason why the label says don't take past 7 days or 10 days. And chiropractic, I have adjusted thousands of necks, dozens of times in the past 17 years. And the worst case is you might be a little sore for a few days, but in the skilled hands, and because I don't adjust necks that need surgery, that's where the differential diagnosis comes in. That's when you know it's so super safe. You're just staying within the normal ranges of motions and introducing a quick impulse. That's to create space between the bones so that the fluid stirs and nutrients come in and waste go out. You restore normal range of motion. It is super, super safe. If you have any questions about your health, just because people make an appointment, it doesn't mean I'm going to manipulate them. Sometimes people just come in to have a conversation on their health and what they can do to change things so they don't get any kind of conditions that run in their family, for example, like high blood pressure or diabetes, or things you could do to prevent that naturally. So if you want an appointment, the best thing to do is to call. We do have a website, drkarindc.com, and there's a contact me button on there, but honestly, it's just, we're old school here. It's the best to just call. When you come into my office, I want you to feel like you are in my home and I'm here to help you as a person. I don't want to treat your sickness, I want to help you obtain your optimal wellness.